Dear friends, welcome to InQuEST editorial series. In this video, let us discuss about editorials of the month September 2021, and this is video number 3 of the same. And this activity is useful for your UPSC mains in general studies and essay writing, KPSC and other state public service commission examinations, and any other competitive examination wherein essay writing is one of the components. Dear friends, we will be discussing two articles in this video. Number one, an issue that is related to the state of Assam because there has been 6 months extension of APSPA. APSPA is nothing but Armed Forces Special Powers Act. So this act has been extended for about 6 months in the state of Assam. So in this article, let us discuss the complete details of the same. And the second article is the Trilateral Association of three countries, that is titled as AUKUS, and the objective of this association is to broaden strategic cooperation initiatives at the Indo-Pacific region. Now let us discuss the first article, that is in relation to the state of Assam. So there has been an extension of an act that is called as APSPA. Dear friends, if you want to know the complete details of this particular act, you can click on the I button on this video to watch the complete basic information about APSPA. But in this video, we will be just discussing about the issue. Now, the author says for this kind of extension for about 6 months, there is no justification for such an extension. Now, let us understand why the author says there is no justification for extending such an act. Before that, let us see the relevance of this article for your mains examination. So if you look at the syllabus copy, GS3 of your syllabus says linkages between development and spread of extremism, role of external state and non-state actors. So this is where the APSPA come into picture in creating challenges to internal security, security challenges on their management in border areas, linkages of organized crime with terrorism, various security forces and agencies and their mandate. And if you look at the previous question papers in the year 2015 in UPSC-Mains, so in paper 3, there was a question number 17. So it was like human rights activists constantly highlight the view that the Armed Forces Act 1958 APSPA is a draconian act leading to cases of human rights abuses by the security forces. What section of APSPA are opposed by the activists? Critically evaluate the requirement with reference to the view held by the apex court. So in order to answer such questions, you need to collect the information as we would be discussing in this particular article. And this question was asked for 12.5 marks, and you were supposed to write about 200 words or not more than 200 words. Now, before getting into the depth of the article, just let us go through the gist of the article. So as I told you before, APSPA was in force in Assam almost for 3 decades. See, this is not the first time this APSPA is being implemented in the state of Assam. It was in force in Assam for last 3 decades. And now, once again, Assam has been declared as disturbed, and this APSPA has been extended for another 6 months. And now, due to this extension, there has been a lot of opposition that we are witnessing in the state of Assam. Now, why there is an opposition? Because it is going to impact two major sectors majorly. One is investment on industries and other one is tourism. There are other various reasons also, but these two are the areas that are majorly impacted. And the author says this kind of an extension is being seen as an anti-democratic move. So let us find out why he says this move is anti-democratic. Now, before that, let us find out why there is an opposition. So now we know the issue. Issue is there has been an extension of APSPA for about 6 months once again in the state of Assam. Now, why there is an opposition? Point number 1, there was no convincing reason for the recent extension of the Armed Forces Act for another 6 months. So there is no convincing reason why they have been extending this for another 6 months in Assam, as there is nothing good. The draconian law can do for the state. So this has been titled as draconian law. So why this is called as draconian law? So if you watch the video on APSPA, the basic information, you will come to know why this has been named as draconian law. So since this draconian law can do nothing good to the state, so there is no justification why this has been extended for another 6 months in the state of Assam. So this is point number one, why there has been an opposition. But the entire state has now been declared as a disturbed area for another 6 months under the provisions of APSPA. Now, how it is going to affect the state is the next question, because such an act is going to impact a lot of parameters in the state. So let us see which are all the areas or sectors that are majorly impacted. Number one, the disturbed area tag hurts the image of the state when the government is projecting it as an investment destination. See, the government has been projecting the state of Assam as an investment destination. The reason being, dear friends, as you all know, Digboi, that is in the state of Assam, is one of India's oldest oil refineries. It stocks the highest recoverable reserves of crude oil and natural gas in the country. Given its geographical advantage due to its proximity to Southeast Asian countries, the state is emerging as one of the most popular investment destinations in India. So because of the presence of Big Boy, so this has been identified or recognized as one of the most popular investment destinations of India. But the industry and business will not be interested in investing in a state where the continuance of tough laws pointing to existence of militancy. So this is the problem. So if this state is once again labeled as disturbed area, so you cannot attract investment in this state is one of the problems or one of the things that is going to be affected with this extension. Point number two, it will also act as a dampener for tourism, not only in Assam, but in the entire region. So it is going to affect the tourism also. APSPA is enforced in Nagaland and parts of Manipur and Arunachal Pradesh as well. And the third point is, it was imposed in Assam in 1990. So look at this date. So it was imposed in the year 1990 and has been in force for over 3 decades. To govern a state with the help of a law with such stringent and draconian provisions for so long is anti-democratic. So as I told you, this is a draconian law and governing such state for such long time. So it has been almost 3 decades, so 30 years, and this state is under enforcement of APSPA. So this sounds like anti-democratic. And there has been a lot of opposition, as I told you before, like civil society and rights group have demanded the withdrawal of APSPA from states where it is in operation. Now, what are the other reasons that they are quoting? It gives excessive and unaccounted powers to the armed forces, and these are often misused. So the special powers that are given to the armed forces are basically misused. So this is the reason why there has been an opposition. And second most prominent reason is there have been extensive human rights violation, including killings of civilians. So there has been a lot of killings of civilians and ill treatment of women in such states, and many of them have been already recorded. So as this state has already witnessed a lot of extensive human rights violations and killings of civilians and ill treatment of women, and this is again once again one more strong reason why such extension has been once again opposed by many in the state. And next reason is the abuse of the law makes it counterproductive. So the abuse of the law makes it counterproductive as the excesses lead to alienation of the people from the state. So as such draconian acts, if they keep extending for such long time again and again, the people of the state are going to lose connect with the state. So that is called as alienation of people from the state. So they are going to emotionally break out from the state. So that is looked as counterproductive. Next, the perpetrators of atrocities get away without punishment. So since the act is giving a lot of freedom to the armed forces, there has been, as I told you before, misuse of powers. So such perpetrators of atrocities are actually getting away without punishment. So the armed forces have always claimed that APSPA is needed to fight militancy, but they in fact actually creating a lot of atrocities. Such laws should have no place in a democracy, but if at all they exist, their use should be an exception. So if such laws or acts should be used, it should be used only in an exceptional case, but not always as it is used in the state of Assam. So this is what is the, author says that such act or extension is again anti-democratic. So this was the first article. So with this, let us move to the second article. So that is called as the Trilateral Association, that is titled as AUKUS. Now, what is the main purpose or objective of this association? The objective, as I told you in the beginning, to broaden strategic cooperation initiatives at Indo-Pacific region. Now, before getting into the details of this, what was the title that came in the newspaper? Three is company. Now, what do you mean by three? So, as I told you, it is Trilateral Association. So, it is termed as three is company, and the main purpose of this is the Indo-Pacific would be better served by broader strategic cooperation initiatives. Now, what is the relevance of this with respect to your examination? So, if you look at the syllabus copy in GS2, India and its neighborhood relations, bilateral, regional, and global groupings and agreements involving India and or affecting India's interests, effect of policies and politics of developed and developing countries on India's interests, Indian diaspora, important international institutions, agencies, and fora, their structure, mandate. Now, let us come into the article and let us discuss in detail. So this is what is the Indo-Pacific region, the blue color ribbon that you can see here. So this is almost covering the Indo-Pacific region of the entire world. So the Indo-Pacific would be better served by broader strategic cooperation initiatives like AUKUS. Now let us understand what is AUKUS. US has joined with the UK and Australia to announce a new trilateral security partnership. So what are the three countries? One is US, other one is UK, and other one is Australia. They have come together to make an association that is termed as AUKUS, a new trilateral security partnership. That is the AUKUS. The aim of this is to ensure that there will be enduring freedom and openness in the Indo-Pacific region. So in the Indo-Pacific region, as I told you, there will be an enduring freedom and openness in the Indo-Pacific region, particularly to address both the current strategic environment in the region and how it may evolve according to President Joe Biden. Now, what are the two significant or two dimensions that are very significant here? Number one, it complements several pre-existing similar arrangements for the region. See, this is not the one of its kind. There have been already so many such associations, but this AUKUS is once again going to complement the pre-existing similar arrangements for the region, including the Five Eyes Intelligence Cooperation Initiative, ASEAN, and the Quad, the last one including India. So as we all know, India is one of the members of Quad activities. And the second significance of this is it proposes to transfer technology to build a fleet of nuclear-powered submarines for Australia within 18 months. So this is a very significant move because the reason is the Australia will become only the second nation after the UK that the US has ever shared its nuclear submarine technology with. So US has so far shared its technology with only UK, and now Australia will be the second country to get technology transferred from the United States. The broader strategic question that the creation of AUKUS begs relates to the unstated challenge that the group poses to the regional hegemonic ambitions of China. Dear friends, if you have recently observing China, so that video also we have done. So we will have put that link in the description box. China recently have come up with a new claim, that is in case of South China. So this is the dotted line that is called as 9-dashed line. So they are trying to show their dominance in the part of South China Sea. They have come up with a new claim that if there has been any movement of any vessels of any country across this 9-dashed line, they have to report to China. So this is the new claim that the China has come up with, and this is truly in violation with UN clause. So this will be the major challenge for this AUKUS, because China is already trying to dominate in South China Sea, so that will be a part of Indo-Pacific origin or region. So particularly regarding how far the US, the UK and Australia along with other regional powers will go to preserve a free and open Indo-Pacific, including the South China Sea. So this is where there will be a major tussle between these countries, because China is already trying to dominate its presence in South China Sea by announcing its claims on 9-dashed line. So if you want to watch that video, you can look back into the description box. We will have given the video link of new claims of China with respect to South China Sea. Now, what is the bigger question? The bigger question is, will the operationalization of this security partnership lead to closer coordination among the nations concerned in terms of joint military presence, war games, and more in the region, signaling a new latticed posture to Beijing? So latticed in the sense, simple words, difficult posture. So it is like, all versus one kind of an association. So they're all trying to overtake or snub the domination that has been expressed by China in South China Sea. Now, after all, undersea capabilities, including the ability to patrol, may be vital to deterring Chinese military coercion in the region. And although no explicit mention was made of China in any of the AUKUS announcement, it is clear, as one of the officials later said to media, that the transfer of nuclear propulsion technology to an ally in this context was intended to send a message of reassurance to the countries in Asia. So this is kind of informally saying that they are, with this move, like sharing their technology with Australia, rather, nuclear propulsion technology, it is informally kind of sending a message of reassurance to countries in Asia. Now, what is the way forward that the author has been suggesting here is, the imperatives of the Indo-Pacific would be better served by broadening the strategic cooperation initiatives of this sort to include other powers. So as we know, AUKUS is just trilateral association, but the author suggests that it would have been served better had they included other powers that are deeply invested in the region, including India, Japan, and South Korea. So this was the complete article about AUKUS. So if you have any doubts in these two articles, you can definitely put in comments box. We will try to reply to your questions. Thanks for watching. Namaskaram.